Hey, 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 and welcome to the Grit and Wit podcast, where we chat about what it looks like to live out Christianity and how we can have fun and enjoy life in the process. I'm your host, Rebecca Caldwell. Welcome to the party. Rachel's over here chewing popcorn, can't test the mic.
Hello?
Are you going to be comfortable talking like that?
I don't know. Here, I'll sit like this. I'll probably be sitting like this. Is this okay?
Yeah, test
Is it picking me up?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey friends, Becca here, and I am joined by a very special guest, Miss Rachael Ferrell. Dun, da, da, da.
Hello.
Yay. Okay, so if you don't know who Rachael is, her and her fiance, Matt Jarvis, are the new pastors at the church that I attend, church that I go to, Crossbridge Church in Ferriday, Louisiana. So we're real excited to have her on the podcast today. She's been anxiously awaiting.
I've been asking her all the time, hey, Becca, can I come on your podcast? So, you know, it's like I'm with a celebrity today.
Oh, she's feeling good. She's feeling good. We're tapping into her alter ego.
Her name is Becky, y'all.
Which I think is hilarious.
You gotta have one. Everybody's got one.
Come on, Becky.
Get it together, Becky.
Get it together. For just a little background, little inside scoop on Miss Rachael. She is 20, so make sure I have this right. 20. And Matt is how old? 23.
22.
22. And they are pastoring a church. And some of you out there are going, how can they be that young and pastor a church?
They're babies.
They're babies. And so I thought it would be fun to kind of talk about that element as we dive in. That can just be our starting topic. We really don't have a plan for today. I'm going to be honest with you guys. We're
winging it.
We're winging it today. So, Rachael.
Yes.
Tell me let's start with the good. Let's start with the good stuff. What is your favorite thing about being a young pastor?
I guess the best thing is you kind of reach that generation that a lot of people don't feel is welcome in the church anymore, and I feel like a lot of kids that are still in high school or whatever they go through, that generation has gone through, I think, some of the toughest things. And so I think just being this young, they can kind of relate to their pastors, and it's kind of a thing that, like, I may not have gone through everything that they've gone through, but I still can encourage them and lift them up and let them know that they're welcomed and that they're loved in the church, and that, you know, we can have a mentorship program that goes on with the church, and, you know, you can just you can erase that line, I guess, that's between the older generation and this new generation with how young you are. Even though there is a negative side of it, I still look at it with, we can relate to everybody in the church in some
way, shape, or form. And I think that does make a big difference. I can remember whenever I was in youth ministry and that age where you kind of age out of youth ministry and you're supposed to go to quote-unquote big church. And a lot of kids just volunteer to do leadership in youth ministry just because they don't want to leave youth.
You're so nervous because you don't feel like you're welcome to go up on stage, or you don't feel like you're equipped to go worship or go up there and pray for people or even do anything in the church. And I feel like that's not true whatsoever.
Yeah.
And being this young, you can kind of encourage them to get up on the worship team, to say the morning announcements, to work the computer, to be a greeter.
Right. And I think it's too, there's always that awkward transition from being a youth or a kid to adulthood. That middle ground is awkward. It's kind of like junior high. It's really like an awkward stage where you're going from being a kid to being a teenager and that transition. But I feel like it's almost just as awkward to go from being a teenager youth to an adult. Because sometimes I'm 33 and still don't feel like an adult all the time, you know.
I'm such a child. Let's be honest. Like, I still, no. If there's a bouncy house, you're going to see me in it. Like.
And so I think that it helps bridge the gap there.
Yeah,
it's like you don't have to look the same. You know, a 20-year-old's not going to look the same as a 50-year-old, but you can still do church together.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of times we want to be around the same people, the same age, and the same people who are going through the same stuff, but there's so much benefit in really grouping everybody together from the young to the old.
And I mean, it just shows, I don't say that, I'm not going to say anybody looks up to me, because, you know, you never know if someone's truly looking up to you unless they come up to you and be like, hey, I'm looking up to you, like, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say people in the church are looking up to me, but we do have some amazing young women in our church, and I want to be there for them, to encourage them and lift them up, to be like, if I'm going to go up there and pray for people, you know, you are welcome to pray for people, because if you have that heart and God's really pushing you, don't sit back and do nothing, because I've been in that experience where God's, like, screaming in my head, like, go do this, and I get so nervous because I'm like, well, I'm not old enough, like,
right,
it's not something I need to do. And so I think my age, with what we are doing, I do think we do have those young women that are kind of like, hey, I feel more comfortable seeing that she does this, that I can do this too.
Right, yeah. And which you've also had a lot of support from the older people at church, and so we do see, because there was a vote, and I mean, y'all got what, like 98% vote for y'all, and so there is that support from the older generation. Yeah. Have you continued to see that support as you have been here for a couple months now?
Most definitely. I mean, the older women in our church, I love them to death. They all come up to me every Sunday and every Wednesday and just let us know how much they love us and appreciate us, and they've all been there to kind of support us and help us with what we're going through, and that it is a big change, because, you know, Matt just graduated from the university and I'm still going online, so and we're also getting married in December, so a lot of them have kind of stepped up and just helped us carry this load, and just encouraged us and let us know that they are there for us, and that they do want to see growth in the church, which is the biggest thing that you ever want to know, is that people of all ages in your church want growth.
Right.
Because it's not just the younger people that need to come, it's also the older people. There are so many of them. And a lot of them, it was funny, a lot of them did let us know, like, hey, we were hesitant about y'all, but y'all have old souls. And it's so funny, because it's true. I mean, we do have that old soul type, but I think I'm still considered a child in my mind, but nobody has ever been negative towards us. They've let us know that they were weary of it.
Yeah.
But they let us know that, like, when y'all came and preached, you know, it was a sign that we knew that y'all were.
Right. And I think that, too, God always equips us for whatever it is he calls us into. And so I think that he has given y'all an ability to communicate with all age groups.
He has.
And so I think that's great, because I know for me, I don't always communicate well in conversations. Conversations can be hard, friends. Conversations are hard.
You just sit there.
I do better if I'm talking and you don't talk back to me. Just let me tell you about some things.
And this is why the podcast works.
Exactly, because y'all are just listening. I'm not having to think up, you know, responses and things.
I'm bad at, like, communicating if I'm upset, because I sit there and I'm like, I'm angry. And someone's like, well, why are you angry? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just angry.
I'm having trouble processing this right now. Well, I believe that also I've seen a lot of times with pastors, people put the load fully on them. They expect them to do all of the things. Yeah. And honestly, I feel like when y'all came in, and because y'all were a little younger, I think people saw the need, like, for other people to come alongside and help. Right? Yeah. And so for me, I feel like it was good. It's a good fit for y'all, but it's also a good fit for us, because people are stepping into some roles that I think they should have been living in anyway. Exactly. and following in anyway. And I think that we've seen a lot of people just step up and move into some areas that that they need to be in, and that it's been good all around for those that are stepping up into the ministries that they've really been called to.
Well, I believe that, like, I mean, this is just my opinion. Some people may disagree with me. If you do, you can let me know or not. Won't bother me. I think that a church should be strong enough to hold themselves up in the midst of a transition of a new pastor.
Right.
I never want to see a church, when they lose a pastor, just fall. Because if you don't have that support and that backbone, when the pastor's not there, there's no strength in it.
Right, you don't have anything to stand on.
Exactly. And the biggest thing that Matt and I really loved is that even when y'all didn't have a pastor, you guys were doing so great. Like, when you and Trey were in the middle of it, it was just, we were watching it online, and it was just so awesome, because y'all were still working as a team, and you were still going, even though you were in that transition of not having that pastor. Because the pastor is the leadership, but it's also, within leadership, you have to have people underneath you that you're not only like, they're not only listening to you, but you're equipping them to do what you're doing.
Right.
And you're training them to go out and to lead and mentor and feed into other people. And I think that's the biggest thing about a church that we forget sometimes is it's like, oh, well, the pastor's not here, you know, it's all gonna fall apart. Like, we should just close down now. Like, everything's gone. No, it's, the pastor's not here. It's okay. We got this. We can figure it out.
Right.
You do this. You do that. We got this. This is our strengths. This is what we're going to do. We have a game plan.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I love about this church is that we do have so many people, so many talented people, I should say. That
right.
We do have a game plan going. And even if there wasn't a pastor, you know, y'all would still be doing great, amazing things. And it's just, it's a really good working team that we have at that church.
It's cool to see people come into their callings, their ministry, and do what only they can do, right? I'm actually reading this book by Jess Connolly, and it's called You Are the Girl for the Job. And it's really all about letting go of that expectation of what you're able to do in your own strength and letting God be the one that guides you and strengthens you and gives you the ability to do whatever it is. Like, let go of your expectations, let go of what you feel like you're capable of, and really do what God's called you to do. And I think that we've seen that a little bit, and I think y'all are great at kind of calling that out of people and giving them the opportunity to do that. And I'm really excited and looking forward to all that's happening. And like she said, they are getting married in December, so we're planning church events and wedding showers right now. It's fun times.
Hit us up at Crossbridge if you would like to plan your wedding shower, because it's going great.
It's going great. We're having a great time. Okay, what is one of the hardest things about being a young pastor?
I guess, okay, so I know everybody's going to be like, well, you shouldn't listen to other people. Like, don't let other people, but, okay, come on. We all listen to other people. Don't even try to lie to me. Like, we all have that voice in our head, and a lot of times I have people come up to us, and they're just like, well, y'all are so young. And I never really looked at that as a negative standpoint. I told you this when we first came here. Like, I've never seen being young as negative.
Right.
And you can kind of tell when people mean it that way. And
right.
When we first became the pastors here, it was just, well, y'all are so young. Like, are you going to be able to do this? Like, that's not right. Y'all aren't even married. Like, what is going on here? And it was different, but we didn't see it as that. We saw it as, yeah, we're not married, but we're going to be. And we're still going to work as a team. We're still going to try our hardest. And, yeah, we are young, but we're not going to let that be a negative thing. You know, we're going to use it to get the young generation, and we're
right.
going to use it to blend that line and that gap that everybody always sees between the old and the young, and we're going to create a family and a barrier in that community that we have to strengthen. And I let it get to me a lot because I was like, well, I'm so young, I can't do much. Like, I'm just going to sit in the back. But
right.
I think that was the biggest one, was just
overcoming the hurdle of discouragement from other people. Because, it's hard. I think a lot of people go, well, you don't have the life skills or whatever yet. But y'all have some great mentors in y'all's life. And there are so many of us in the church that have just come alongside y'all and been like, whatever y'all need, we've got your back. And I think that makes a huge difference when you have people who are supportive, because let's be honest, not everybody has every life experience under the sun. Not everybody has been through everything and knows what to do with everything. But God has called us into a place of community, so that if I don't know what to do, I know I can call somebody or call on the Holy Spirit. Hello, if we're dependent upon Him, He can see us through, or He'll put people in our lives to help see us through. It's just like when Paul put Timothy onto mission. A lot of people were probably going, Timothy? Like, he's a kid. He's a kid. Are you sure, Paul? Are you sure that you want Timothy out there building churches? And it was like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We've got to start being encouragers, I think, instead of just looking at, when it doesn't make sense to us, we tend to be discouraging towards others. And I think that was it. I think a lot of people were just like, I don't understand. I don't understand how that's working. I don't understand why they got it, or why, and so I think a lot of it is just that misunderstanding and not, and so that, I don't know, it just brings out the negative sometimes in people when they are dealing with things that they don't understand.
And I mean, I tell everybody, I'm like, we won't have all the answers. And I set that straight. Like, nobody is ever going to have all the answers. And I would rather sit there and be honest with you and tell you I don't have all the answers, but I know somebody who probably does, than sit there and try to lie to you about having the answer.
And I think that's it. It's that open and honest and just bringing your truth forward.
Exactly.
I may not know what to do, but we're going to figure it out together.
Yeah. And, I mean, we do know that there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be a lot of firsts with talking to people. And, you know, we are prepared. And we do have amazing mentors in our lives that have kind of been praying for us and checking up on us in the midst of all this, because it has been a crazy couple months. I mean, it's just been go, go, go. We still don't feel, this doesn't feel real to us about being here. But, I mean, we want to be the pastors. We want to be the people that people can go to. And if we don't know the answers, you know, we're definitely going to get you to somebody who does, because we don't ever want to lead somebody in the wrong direction.
Right. And I feel like that was one of the biggest things for me, was that authenticity that you guys brought.
Yeah.
And also the excitement and the fervor. You know, you look at, people are like, oh, they're so young. And I'm like, yeah, but they're excited. They're excited about Jesus. And there's no, for me, it's, y'all don't have any, like, hesitations as far as y'all have not been burned, or y'all haven't, you know, experienced some of the trials and tribulations that other people have. Yeah. And so it's an exciting time. It's a fun time. I'm excited anyway.
I'm a relational person. So the moment I stepped into that church, I was like, shaking everyone's hand, asking them who they were, how they liked the church, and I think it kind of threw some people off, like, oh my goodness, she's coming out here talking to us. And I was like, I told people, I was like, I've had fake people in my life, I've had people hurt me like that, and I never want to be that person.
Right.
I was like, this is who I am. I may act weird sometimes, I may be quiet sometimes, but that's just who I am.
Right.
Everybody's gonna have a down day, but you just gotta know that this is me. And so I think a lot of people respected that, because I never think anybody should be fake about who they are, because it's not gonna benefit you. It's not going to benefit anybody else. It's like, there's nothing that you're getting back from being fake.
Right. And she says she's a relational person, and for you Enneagram people, she is a 2 on the Enneagram, which you are relational. You want to love people well.
Yeah.
But then there's the hard part where you also want to be loved well, and not everybody does that.
I am in the heart. Like, I'm kid you not. Becca has seen me cry. Like, if something upsets somebody, I'm like, please tell me why. I just need to know why. Like, if someone hates me, I'm like, okay, I get it, but why? Like, give me that reason and I'll be done. Like, I'm a puppy, y'all. I'm so loyal, and I'm just like, just love me. And when you don't, I just sit there and I whine until somebody just loves me. That's how I see myself. But it's bad. Like, sometimes my relational type side gets me in trouble sometimes, because I'm just like, I just want to love them.
I want all the love. Let's just get along. Everybody hold hands. And
I think that's my biggest struggle, is like, with being a pastor, you know, you gotta give some tough love. And I'm like, I love you, but don't do that.
Yes.
And it's hard, because I want people to see the love in everything we do. And Matt's a logistical person. He's a type 5, so...
We're going to get him on the podcast one day. We're going to give him and Trey. It's going to be a takeover episode.
It'll probably just be them talking to each other for an hour and a half, and Becca's going to have to edit out. But
nobody will listen to that episode.
Like, what are they
all the other 5s will listen to it.
That's some good stuff. And other people, what are they even talking about?
What's happening? Yeah.
But I think that's how we work, is he gets me out of my heart and into my brain a little bit, and I get him out of his brain and into his heart, because he needs to understand why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. And it's so hard for me to do that, because I'm like, I just feel this way. And he goes, well, why? And I'm like, I don't know. But
make me understand.
Exactly. He's got to read a book about it. He'll Google it, and then I'll figure it out. But
yes, I have really enjoyed y'all becoming our pastors. It's been, I don't know, I've been excited. You know, honestly, this does not offend anybody else, but when they after they interviewed, I was one of those people that was a little skeptical. I'm like, oh, they're real young. And then after they came and they left, I was like, we don't need to see anybody else. Send them on in. We'll take them.
I'm not going to lie, y'all. Becca was like, questioning us when we were having our leadership meeting. I was like, dang, she got all the questions. I was like, oh goodness.
Here's the thing, like, okay, we would take them out to dinner, whoever was interviewing, and we were supposed to ask questions because, hello, like, y'all are going to be our pastors. And nobody else would ask the questions. So I was at the other end of the table, I think, and I had to get up, and I literally stood.
You stood right in front of us. You're, like, interrogating us.
I had a baby, though, so it was a little cuter.
You're, like, bobbling your head. You're like, okay, so why? And I was like, oh.
And what about this? And what about this?
And this, and this. She had some good questions, though, y'all. It wasn't, like, bad questions. She had some good ones. I was like, I'm in the hot seat. I'm going to sweat. Just kidding. But.
She's like, rocking in the chair. I think that sometimes I can be a little intimidating. So
it's just because she loves the church. Like, that church, I understand completely. Because, like, that church is her church, like, she has loved it so much. She has put her heart and soul into that, and I wouldn't expect her to act any other way about that church. Because when you have so much family and so much love and community built into a church, you just don't want to hand somebody the pastor role that is not going to take care of it.
And I think a friend of me, we actually, I don't know, whenever our previous pastors left, there was just, we were already excited and we were already anticipating what God was going to do. And so we just I had this high level of expectation, and I'm like, I didn't want to miss God on it, Yeah. And there was just like, y'all, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little intense probably, but, I'm like, Jesus, is this you?
We honestly, I kid you not, we did not think we were going to get this. We found out, I remember this, we found out about this church opening in the middle of a Hobby Lobby. And we took the phone call because we were like, okay, we'll just take this phone call because we'll be respectful. And him and I both looked at each other and was like, there's no way we could get this. Like, this is an amazing church. Like, they have amazing people. This is a blessing. Like, there's no way they're going to let two people who have not pastored a church that's not even done with college yet.
Just
like, get
fresh out the womb.
Exactly. Like, I'm like, a month old right now in this mindset. And so we did it, and they went through the process of, interviewing, and they said, okay, we want to see y'all. And we were like, nuh-uh. And they're like, yep. You guys are going to come down this weekend. And we were like, okay, God, we'll do this. Maybe this is to get us some experience about trying out for a church. And then we did it, and we just fell in love with everybody. Like, I told Matt when we got in the car, as soon as we left, I was like, it feels like we're leaving family. And we just met y'all. And I was just like, I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
But we honestly kept praying about it. Because we were like, God, if this is you, you'll open that door.
Right.
Because you know the plans. We just know what you're telling us. And he knew the ultimate end game of this. And
worked out. Here we are.
We got that call, and it was very nerve-wracking. I'm going to call Brother Perkins out for a second, because he called us, and he goes, welp. And I thought it was bad news. I was like, I'm prepared to sit in my room for, 3 hours and cry. He goes, y'all got it. And I was like, you can't do that. You can't answer the phone with, welp, with a negative voice. And I was sitting there, almost having a heart attack at the age of 20. It was bad. But we were truly blessed to be able to get that phone call, because it was just... It was the answer we've been praying for.
Yeah,
so.
It's just so, and I think that's encouraging for others to hear, is that God will work things out, even if it's things that you don't feel like you're like, I don't know how this is going to work, but it will work. And if it's His will and you're being obedient to walk and do the things that He's called you to do, then it's just that step by step. We don't always see the big picture, but it's just the step by step.
And I've always heard, this is something that I've kind of kept with me, is there was one lady, I think she spoke at the university, and it was, don't ever miss out on an opportunity because you don't think you're qualified, because God will equip you for everything He wants you to do. And I think He really did that for us, because, we didn't have churches on our resume. We have never pastored a church. We've been involved in our churches multiple times. Him and I are we love being involved with everything. We love being a help out wherever we are, but we've never pastored a church. So it's if you looked at it from your standpoint, you'd probably agree with us. We didn't think there was any way we could get it.
Right.
But it was God really equipped us, and He knew, He was letting everybody know, this is who is going to be here. And He kind of gave us that peace of mind as we were praying about it. Don't worry about it. It's all going to fall into place. You trust me, and it's going to fall into place. Because we could have easily said no to coming out to interview.
Right.
We could have easily said no to even putting our resume in for the church.
Right.
But we did, because we trusted in Him. And it's I think that's the biggest thing you got to do, is you just got to trust in Him and follow through.
Yep.
And it's scary. You never know the outcome.
Right. But small steps of obedience.
Exactly.
you end up where the Lord is going to take you.
It's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster for sure.
Hold on tight, kids.
Woo! Well, I'm so glad that you joined me on the podcast today. It worked out really well. Rachel's been staying with me for a couple of weeks, living on my air mattress in my spare bedroom / office / where I get dressed.
Don't let her fool you, y'all. This has been a sleepover. We've been having fun. We went to get popcorn at like midnight the other night, you know. It was fun.
It's been a lot of fun for sure. And okay, so just a couple of things because I like to do this when I have guests. I'm like, what I love about you. I love first and foremost your gangster pose when you take pictures. She likes that lean back pose.
You gotta get the chin up. You gotta get the chin up.
Lift your chin. Smooth it out.
Yeah,
lift it up.
You can't have that double chin. And
Lean
then you gotta
back.
You gotta pucker your lips a little bit, you know?
Lean back. She got it down, y'all. She got it down. And I love that you love people well. And even when you wear your heart on your sleeve. I do. I love it. And I love that you're my pastor.
Aww. See, she gonna make me cry right now. I just did my makeup because I was like, I gotta look good. Even though it's a podcast and y'all can't see me, I still gotta look good.
I keep saying I'm gonna do video podcasts for my YouTube, but...
Oh, y'all, okay, so ready? You guys, when you hear this podcast and she posted it on Facebook, because I know she shares it on Facebook because I listen, y'all need to comment when she posts this if we should do a YouTube video together.
we have lots of ideas.
We have some plans. It's either going to be like a Q&A type thing.
Yes.
Or we're going to do, what was it? You put your favorite food in a blender.
Favorite food in a blender and see if you still like it once it's blended.
So we're going to do either one of those. But y'all got to comment what y'all want to see because it's going to be funny.
It's going to be so I like that you're funny.
I sometimes.
She is funny, and she also likes to make fun of people.
Hey, okay, listen. It's because I love them. I mean, if I love you, you know I'm going to make fun of you. But it's also my sarcasm, and people just think I'm being funny, but I'm really just being sarcastic, and then they laugh. So I just kind of go with it.
Just pretend you're funny.
I'm just like, yep.
Yeah, I'm hilarious.
I have no jokes. It's just the way I say things.
She's unintentionally funny.
Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's funny. And then everyone's like, ha ha ha. And I'm like, nothing was funny in that sentence.
Oh my goodness. Okay. If you don't know Rachel, you need to get to know her. She originally from Missouri. She's lived in like New Mexico,
Tennessee, and Louisiana.
But Louisiana's your favorite, right?
Yeah, I love the food here. Y'all gotta try some crawfish, and you gotta suck the head, because that's where the juice is at.
That's where the goodness happens.
That's the spiciness.
So, you know she is officially a Louisianian when you suck the head on a crawfish.
Oh, yeah, and I even did the lemon, because everyone says that's the spicy one.
Yeah.
I even, sucked that lemon, and it was good. I liked it. I got called a man for doing that one, because half the people couldn't do it, and I was like, I'll try it. It was pretty good.
But Rachel the man.
The man.
Wait, should it be Becky the man?
Becky the man. Becky with the good hair. But
all right, friends. I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off here?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I was to say, are you going to say anything or like?
I was shaking my head, but I keep forgetting that y'all can't see me. I think I've done that this whole time. I'm like, yeah. But I never say actually, yeah. I've been shaking my head.
We're so glad to have you on the podcast today. Thanks for joining us.
I've had so much fun.
So much fun. If you enjoyed today's podcast, or maybe you didn't enjoy it, but you still want to be nice and leave a rating and review, you can go on over to iTunes. Give me 5 stars, because 5 stars are the best. And, I mean, who doesn't want to be the best? Come on. 6 stars. Tell iTunes we need more. We need more stars.
Make it even. Goodness gracious. Why it gotta be 5?
Oh, gosh. Leave some kind words. I would be greatly appreciative of that. And if you want to become a financial supporter of the podcast, you can head on over to patreon.com/gritandwit. That's patreon.com/gritandwit. And let me just give a quick shout out to Megan Tanton, because she is our newest, freshest VIP insiders. So thank you, Megan, so much for becoming a patron partner. Yes, round of applause for Megan. Woo!
I'll give you some popcorn.
Thank y'all so much for listening. We have enjoyed hanging out together and with y'all.
We just make jokes. That's really what we do.
We're just over here living our best life. So
it's our best life, really.
Thank y'all so much for listening. I hope y'all have a great week. And as always, I'll talk to you next week, friends. See you then.